This conference will now be recorded.
Hi Sweta, how are you after a long time? Amit has joined. Sweta, you are there? Hello.
Hello.
Hi Sweta.
Hi, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I am doing good. Yeah, thanks.
You're fine?
So Amit will be. Yeah, I am fine now. Yeah. So how is the rain there? So is it raining heavily
Yes.
there?
Very heavy.
Is it raining
Like all the roads are
heavy
blocked.
rain?
Yeah, still it's raining.
Oh, okay. Actually, my teammates actually they were supposed to go to Pune for some discussions. It got postponed actually.
Yes, sir. Because at office also everyone is not coming. Only 20-30% people are coming from last 2-3 days. And
Mm-hmm.
because but they have not declared like holiday for us. So if we are able to manage, we have to go.
Okay. So you are working from home these days.
No, I'm going, sir, because my house is only 8 kilometers.
Okay. So
So somehow
which
I'm
part of
managing.
the which part of the city you are in?
I'm in Akurdi. It's near Pimpri.
Pimpri. Okay. I think Amit has also joined. Hi Amit, I'm back.
Hello.
Hi. So finally we are in the session number 12. So before that I'll be sharing. So we'll be seeing the deep dive in the payroll log today. Okay. So before that, let me log in again. So what we will cover, how to run the payroll. Actually, I was able to, there are some few issues today. So I just rectified those and I was able to run the payroll smoothly for a standard, which we copied the standard schema and we using that custom schema, I was able to run. And before that, what are the troubleshooting I have done today, I'll be discussing and how to read the payroll log. That also I'll be explaining today. Okay. So in payroll log, if you see, so the basic session means whatever why payroll log is important for us. So whenever you are running any kind of payroll, but it is not specific to UK payroll, it's for any country payroll. If you are running, so payroll log, if you are ticking that box in while running the payroll, you will be able to determine how if there is any issue. Okay, so sometimes what happens, payroll, some pays people in the come to HR and some HR if they are not able to answer. So if they have to go and deep dive the payroll inside the payroll log, they have to identify. Suppose if it is not a data issue, if it is a data issue, then the HR admin or the payroll admin they can straightforward say that so this can be the issue, that can be the issue. But if it is some critical issue, it is not, and it is not something related to data or something some other issue, so the payroll log basically it helps us to check and go in details of what are the issue might be. So for that what you can do, you can suppose there is one employee for whom the payroll some issue is there. For only that employee you can run a simulation even after the payroll is run successfully. So if there is some issue, then you can go and deep dive into that. Okay, the payroll log you can see there. So basically the basic purpose behind the payroll log is basically to find out the root cause. to root cause of any payroll related issues. Okay, and the issue may be due to the waste type valuation itself. So sometimes what happens, so there can be different types of payroll issues. If it, mostly most of the issues happens before running the payroll. Okay, so before running the payroll we may get some issues, some related to waste type related, or it may be sometimes due to some modification happened in the configuration but you have not properly tested it. Or due to it maybe some due to some upgrade happened, but after that again some tax related patches or year end related some patches have been applied, but the testing didn't happen properly. So in those all scenarios we can have different issues, and each time you'll be in the payroll issue you'll be able to troubleshoot only by going through the payroll log. Okay, so that is the basic idea behind why do you need a payroll log. Okay, so sometimes what happens due to some customization, some ABAP code also some people have that happens during the initial implementation phase. That doesn't happen on a regular basis, and also as a payroll consultant we don't recommend to do many changes or many customization. So whatever that happens, if it's a minor customization it is fine, but don't do many changes, major changes. Once if the payroll is stable, you're running successfully, is stabilized, don't do many changes to the existing functionality, existing payroll functions, or in terms of code or schema. So it is every time it is suggested. So generally what happens during once your payroll implementation is over, there is something called parallel testing. You must have heard about this. So what happens during after the payroll is when payroll module is live for the initial 3 to 6 months, depending upon the complexity of the project. Generally people run two systems parallelly. Okay, so your SAP will, suppose you are running a SAP UK payroll, suppose you are going live on 1st of April, okay, 2019. So for the next 6 months you will be running SAP payroll as well as the old payroll. Okay, suppose you have previously have run some other software you have used, say ADP or some other payroll system you have using. Okay, so parallelly you will be running both the payroll system, so that is called parallel run. Okay, so there is something called parallel testing, also parallel payroll testing. If somebody asks what is the parallel testing, so generally that happens during post go live implementation. Otherwise if there is any major changes or something, so usually that is suggested to do go after the implementation only. 3 to 6 months so you'll be running and you'll be tallying basically. So you'll do a tally, whether the net pay in the old payroll software it is same as your whatever existing in your current SAP UK payroll. So those kind of things also we do as a part of parallel payroll run testing. Okay, so before I'll not be going into deep into that. That is a part of process. So parallel payroll testing. So for today's session I'll be focusing more on the payroll log and how to troubleshoot. Okay, so there are three criteria, three steps basically. Okay, first you have to identify the waste type. Okay, so whenever any payroll is issue is happening there, so mostly it is might be due to a waste type or the waste type calculation inside the payroll log. Okay, either it can be due to a specific waste type. So whenever SAP payroll log helps you, whenever you are running a payroll, so you'll be getting the error message at that particular point. If you dig down, or before that wherever you are getting the error, so in that you will be able to, if you go and deep dive into that payroll log, you will be able to see which waste type is responsible, or which value or which function related to that is the root cause for that particular issue, that you can identify. So okay, so once you have identified the specific waste type or some other functions which causes this payroll issue, then second step is basically you have to identify the function. Okay, it can be due to the some function. Suppose today while I was checking the payroll, Amit has created some, he was facing some issue that was related to something related to say absence function. Okay, so there is a function related to the absence, and I have gone through that function and I have seen some configuration was missing. So I have done that configuration. I'll be discussing that in the second half today. So these are the different steps actually to how to troubleshoot the specific payroll for a UK payroll or any payroll. If you how to read the log and how to identify the issue, what is the root cause of the issue, because solving an issue is not a problem. Okay, you can solve it, but understanding the issue, that is more important. Because that will be helpful you in the future. So whenever you are troubleshooting, if this is the issue, then what should be the root cause? So understanding root cause is also most important. So once you have identified the function or a specific function or specific waste type, then you have to see that you have to go through the detail of the function. Okay, the function which is called, that you have to go through in the deep dive, and you have to see what are the different input types or waste types which is the causing. So there are different types of input table, output table. So by comparing those input table and output table, you'll be able to identify those specific waste types, and you can do check those. Otherwise, sometimes what happens, those error are very straightforward. Okay, so the error will say this table is not maintained, or that table is not maintained, is not a particular function. So error are actually smart enough, so you can go through those messages, specific messages, and from that also you can identify which table some value is, if it is missing. Okay, so you can directly go and jump into that table and directly rectify that, and again you come back and do the run the payroll once again. So these are the basically 3 steps. Okay, and there is a wiki link. Okay, so how to identify these things, I'll be sharing this PPT anyway. So there is a SAP wiki link how to analyze the payroll log and all. So I'll be sharing that with you, so don't worry. So now I will be directly showing to the system. So before that, I will be showing what are the things I have done. So this is how a payroll calculation driver program it will look like, and the right hand side you can see the sample log, and I have used Sandeep's use employee ID only. So here you can see there are different logs. Anyway, I'll be showing into system. Before that, I'm just showing the presentation slides. Okay, and what are the, for the last 2 to 3 sessions, what are the things actually the frequently with the kind of error we received. So I have also taken those screenshot so that you will be able to understand. So one of the common issue, if you see, I think you must have also observed, if you have run some multiple times, or due to, or you have run the payroll and after some time the session logout happened, and again you try to log in, this kind of issue. So this is called payroll lock issue. Okay, so what happens, suppose if you are running a payroll, or due to some reason your system got it means you just left the system and session log out, it's logged out. Okay, so then if you are logging in again, system will think that you are already logged into the system, and that lock, it will be locked that particular record. Okay, so in that case what will happen, you will be getting an error like this: person is already being processed by user UK payroll. Means this person, this employee ID 995 times 03, so this is already locked, so it will say the personal number could not be locked. Okay, so it will happen in, so in this case what we will do, there is a solution also I have written. So in the next step you have to go to the SM04, that is a transaction code. Okay, so you will be seeing which user ID has been locked. Okay, so here you can see SM04, and you can see also, you can see the terminal. Suppose the same user ID has been used by multiple people, you can see there are actually, this is showing my system, my laptop's client host, it is showing INDELNI Nayak. So what you have to do, you have to just click that particular record, and you have to remove that particular means particular you have to, session actually. Okay, so you have to close that session, and again you have to log in. Okay, so that is the solution. If you are getting this kind of error, then you have to solve like this. Okay, so you have to go to specific record, and you have to close that session, you have to start a fresh session. So that is a common lockout issue. And another thing next I'll be explaining is, I'm clear, am I clear, Sweta and Amit? This is a common issue.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Amit,
So
you
we have
must
to
be knowing.
delete that entry.
Yeah, so I'll be showing you, I'll not be whenever I'll be running, because I'll be showing you as well, no, don't worry. So basically you have to click that record, and how to close that, I'll be showing you, okay, in the system. No worry. So basically, this is actually the standard. So for any, whenever you are reading any payroll log, so you will be having this kind of, there will be three types of table. One is your input table, that is IT, or another one is output table, OT, and another is a results table. Okay, that is a result table. Okay, RT. Okay. So similarly, inside that, all kind of operations, payroll related rules, it will be, those things will be happen. But whenever I say input table, output table, you can have it can have different name. Okay, process input table, process output table. Okay, so it will be having different names, and for each functions you will be having this kind of tables. Okay, so once I'll show the log, you will be able to understand it. Okay, so all the waste types, those are part of actually input table. I'll be discussing this as well. Next, I'll be showing you, this was another error last time which I was running when I was running. So this was related to pension related configuration. So that we have applied all those, whatever the notes I have shared with you earlier. Okay, so that issue got resolved. So it was related to the some notes related to pension actually. So that was another issue, and another one was some missing key. This there is another issue. So whatever issue I have faced during my this first execution, I have already mentioned. So there is a different issue, some constants are missing, so I have resolved all those. Similarly, this was the issue which today actually I just saw in the afternoon that Sandeep was facing. So this was actually related to the absence. PAB means actually it is an absence related table. Okay, so there was a table, in the table there is something called absence valuation. So I'll be discussing that later. What do you mean by absence valuation? There is a topic. So if you are going through that document which I said earlier, that is a HR 400 document, there is a dedicated unit for it, unit 8. Okay, so that I'll be explaining. So what are the different absence rule, absence valuation rules? I think Sandeep, he has already created some few absences. Only thing is the absence valuation rule was not mapped in that particular configuration. Okay, so for that reason, this was the error. The system was not able to find out the key. Okay, so that absence valuation rule I have configured. Okay, so this was the, so after going through the log, I was able to find out that Sandeep has maintained for the absence type UKMS, that was the absence type. And he has mentioned for that employee, he was absent from 4th of April to 5th of April for 2 days. Okay, but for that configuration, there was no valuation rule was configured. Okay, so this was the table name V underscore 554S underscore G, and also I'll be showing the configuration today. So where I have changed those configuration. Okay, so here in the paid leave and unpaid leave section, the valuation rule was blank actually. So I have maintained the valuation rule there, whatever the existing valuation rule was there. So after maintaining that valuation rule, now if you run the payroll, then this error will not be there. So this was the last troubleshooting which I have done. So in this way, you can by understanding. So as we have seen, there are three to four different types of error we have seen. So these are the actually, this error will not come once again. So this is an one time. So once you have done the configurations, then you will be able to write configuration in place. This error will not come again unless and until you are creating a new leave type and you have not maintained the valuation rule. Till that time, this error will not come. Okay, so you can experiment with this. So Sweta, you also create your own absence type, like Sandeep, he has created his absence type UKMA, UKMS. Okay, so for that you need to refer the time management guide. So whatever the configuration guide I have shared. Okay, so that time management guide, how to create an absence type, you just refer that. If you are facing any issue, let me know, I'll be helping you. So you create an absence type and link it to the valuation rule. Okay, then you run your payroll. Then if you are having, first if you test without valuation rule, then you will be getting this error. Okay, so it will say no entry in the table T554C for this key. Okay, so if you are after that, what you will do, you maintain the valuation rule, then you test again. Okay, so in this way only you will be able to learn a lot of things. Okay, so if you during the past payroll run itself, if you are not getting any error, then you'll not be understanding all of those things. Okay, so you just try to remove some things and add something. Okay, so these are the different function. You'll be better learn all those things by understanding those errors, because mostly once the payroll is implemented, most of the companies prefer, means they will be having a long-term support project, 5 years, 10 years. Most of the projects are support projects, and I have seen people working for the same project for a long time. So you will be getting different kinds of errors. So it is better always to understand. So okay, the configuration is easy. Configuration rule, writing a rules. So this is not a very big deal. So understanding the root cause. So whatever the issue you are getting or whatever the problem you are getting, okay, so you understand those rules and how this functionality is working. Okay, so that is more important compared to the configurations, and because those things will be available anywhere, configuration and all things, but troubleshooting you have to do of your own, like how to understand those error message. After understanding the error message, how to solve that. and and also solving also not a big deal. So after solving also you have to understand any impact. Okay, suppose you have done some configuration, whether it is going to impact anywhere else. Okay, that also you have to visualize. Suppose if you are in a project, you are having a time consultant who is working on, say, negative and or positive time management. So you have to if see if he is working on the same area. So if you are creating a valuation class, if you are attaching a valuation class, whether it is going to impact anywhere else. So those kind of impact also we have to visualize whenever you are doing any such changes. Okay, so because these are really impact a lot of places, payroll and time being very sensitive. Okay, so we have to take care of these things. Okay, so next is this configuration. Today I'll be showing you just this absences valuation and absence valuations classes and everything. Okay, so this is for now. I'll be jumping into the system and I'll be showing the details. Okay, and before that I'll be focusing on another document which I'll be sharing with you, both of you. And as we are in the session number 12, okay, for the next 8 sessions, around 16 to 17 session, I'll be expecting a document to be filled by you. Okay, so I'll be sharing one document that is called SAP payroll workbook. Okay, so this document actually, it is not a can you see the document, Amit and Sweta? Okay, so this document actually I have prepared specific to the UK payroll. Okay, so are you there still, Sweta? I think Sweta.
Yes.
Okay, so this document I have prepared, it is in line with success factor. Okay, so mostly if you see the payroll configuration guide, and those are actually Word document. Okay, so what I have done, instead of preparing a Word document, okay, so in success factor, most of the things they use, they call it a workbook, and they maintain all the configuration related stuff in the different tabs of the document. Okay, so similarly, for UK payroll also, I have designed this document in line with our success factor, this thing, so that in future, if you are going for any EC related payroll related stuff, and this will be helpful for you. Okay, so this document I have prepared. If you see, there are document control info or document summary. What I have done, instead of preparing everything in all the configuration, maintaining those screenshot in an Word document, I have prepared this document which covers every module related to the payroll, as payroll is linked to your OMPA time. Okay, so I have maintained all specific configuration node. Okay, so company code, personal area, personal sub area, employee group, subgroup. So I think Amit has already configured a lot of things. So what you can do for each seat, like company code, personal area. Okay, so for each seat, you can see there are different the navigation path and everything here. But the screenshot is actually from, actually I was working in the Canada payroll previously, so I have taken that, I have used that. So you just remove this screenshot and you maintain your company code. So what company code you are using? Okay, and what means fiscal you are using. Similarly, for personal area, also you maintain your specific personal area which you are using. Okay. So Amit and Sweta, so whatever personal area, your specific personal area, then your screenshot. Okay. So this document will be helpful not only for this project, also it will be helpful for whenever you will be working in the future. Okay. So this document will be handy for you. It will be covering all the things. Okay. So initial some of the seat you will see employee group, subgroup, all these things. Feature also I have included here. So it is a one-stop solution for all of your configuration. Okay. So if you are maintaining a Word document, you have to return pages after pages. But here actually, if you are using an Excel sheet, it will be very handy to you, so that you can at any point of time you can go and refer, just refresh your knowledge. So for the initial node sheets, all related to PA. Okay. So if I go ahead, then you will be seeing all this action item and everything. Okay. So I will now show you related to the payroll related things. So towards the end, I have kept the payroll related configurations. So you just maintain this configuration and have whatever. So to after 17th to 18th session, I'll be expecting this document. You should fill it up and you share with me, so that I'll be ensure that all I will be able to check your configuration. So I don't have to go every time to check your if you're having any issue. So within next 2 to 3 session, if it is possible for you, just maintain this Word document, Excel document, and share with me. Okay. So here another point I would like to focus in terms of public holidays and holiday calendar. I kept it blank. Okay. So here you can maintain UK specific holidays for 2019-20. You can Google it. So what are the UK specific holidays, and you can also maintain that. So similarly, the work schedules, this what are the schedules you are maintaining. Just similarly, if you are creating any absence type. Okay. So basically this also I have maintained the navigation path also for each configuration. So if you see that how to go to that specific navigation, that you have to see, and what are the activities you have to do, that also I have maintained it here. So no need to prepare any Word document for this. You just maintain this whatever the absence type you are goes. This is just a template for you. It will be helpful to prepare this so that at the end you will be feeling confident. Okay. So after completing this thing, you'll be able to see what are the configuration you have done for the entire HR module, not only the payroll. Okay. So similarly, if you're doing for any absence evaluation related configuration, that you will be maintaining here. Okay. So what are the activities you have to do, that you will be seeing it here. Okay. So all these things you can maintain, and this documentation is more important. Okay. So whenever you are running the payroll or any configuration related things, directly you can check this. Okay. And also if you're asking somebody, so they can refer this document to them also. So this document actually I prepared very carefully, so that everything is covered. So still if you are thinking that something is missing, you can attach a worksheet into this and you can add those things. Okay. So if you start with, generally our payroll configuration starts with the period parameters here. Okay. So here you can see the for period parameter and specific date modifier, fiscal year variant, payroll area. So all these things you can maintain, so that you will be able to, it will be very helpful for you in the future. Okay. So all the payroll related configuration node I have marked as a green for your reference. It is towards the end, like pay scale label, wage type. Suppose we are creating what are the wage type. This is just a sample I have given. Okay. So this document will be different for both of you. Like the template will remain the same. So, but whatever the configuration you will be doing, so there will be a configuration for which Amit will be doing, and there is a separate configuration which Sweta is doing. So you'll be sending this document within next 3 to 4, whenever you are able to complete it. Okay. And if you have any doubt, any related to any configuration, just let me know. So this is just a template which I have created. It's handy for you. This kind of document will not be finding anywhere in SAP Learning Hub or any hub there. So this will be very helpful for you. So all these things, configuration related things, I have maintained. So only thing is you have to maintain all this data, whatever you will be using. It may be 2 or 3 line items also if at present, suppose if you are using for those things. Okay. And at the end, what I have done, so there is a concept. So this is actually, this screenshot is for India, but for UK also you can identify this kind of transaction code. Okay, so for each node in SAP you have specific transaction code also. Okay, so for in SPRO, then how to find out this transaction code for any specific node? Okay, there is a blog, I have written it, and that blog link I'll be sharing with you. That is in SCN. Long back, I think 2 years back, I have written that blog. Okay, so for each say SPRO node, you will be having a specific transaction code. Okay, so directly going to that transaction code also, you can go to the specific configuration. Okay, so that I'll be sharing one blog that is with me, and that you will be able to see that it is very useful. So before that, let me now go to the system. Any questions regarding this document, Amit and Sweta? Or any clarification you need?
No, that's fine.
It's fine, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I'll be showing you the whatever the things we have discussed. So I'll be just starting with the payroll log. So I'll be running the payroll with PC00M08 underscore CLC. So the variant, whichever we are using UK payroll. I think ZSGB, it is created by you, Amit. Sweta, you also can try with your own schema. Okay. So whenever you are running the payroll, so you will be having say something called display log. If you are taking this display log, then you will be able to see the entire log, whatever is happening in that particular payroll. And by default we are using the standard remuneration statements. Okay, suppose then there is another way of doing creating a new pay slip, that is using HR form. Mostly those, as a functional consultant, actually you have to talk to the ABAP. So basically these people will be helping you in the creating those HR form name. Most of the clients actually they use HR form name. Okay, so they create an HR form, a pay slip actually, and as a functional consultant you have to give them the input, like which are the wage types they have to go attach to a specific earning part, which are the wage types will go to the deduction part. Okay, so that I'll be sharing a document with you, but mostly that is a technical stuff. Okay, so mostly you have to take the help from ABAP for that. Okay, otherwise the PE51 standard payslip also you'll be getting. Okay, once you run the payroll, now I'll be going to execute. So now you can see there is a form here. Okay, so if you click the display form, now you can see the standard payslip for UK payroll. Okay, so it will be having your all your hourly rate, your payment overtime related stuff. Okay, similarly you'll be having your whatever the deductions and whatever the taxable pay and what is the total amount. So these are the different stuff you will be getting here. So otherwise, to look for the in terms of look and feel, HR form is better. Okay, so you can use HR form with help from ABAP. Okay, so to check the same means what are the information you are getting here. Okay, the same information you will be getting in there in that particular payslip. Okay, so either you can use PE51, other one there is a transaction code for it also. That is your PE51. Okay, so depending upon the country grouping, our country grouping is Great Britain, that is UK payroll. So whatever the pay slip we are getting here, I think Sandeep, you have created this one, ZSUK.
Yeah, I tried, but somehow it did not working for me.
Okay, okay. No, P51 I will not recommend. If you want to learn, that is fine. But that is the look and feel wise, most of the clients don't like it. Okay, it is better to you learn HR form. Actually there is a book also, I will be sharing with you how to do this thing. But P51 is very much boring actually. It is a lot of stuff. It is also look in terms of look and feel also it is not very good. Okay, So rules, if you see, 5 years back, I used to work with this P51. After that, I lost interest in that. So it is, you can refer the standard one. So whatever the standard payslip is there, you can refer. I think this is GB01. So in HR form editor also, you'll be able to see all these uh, line item, number of lines. These are the standard settings, and some of the settings you'll be getting here like language. So this is basically how the standard payslip structure. This is basically a layout. Okay, you in the top you'll be having this company name, then your period number, NI category, tax code, what are the taxable play, your total allowance, total deductions, everything will be configured here. But I will not, just for your knowledge. But don't, if the client is using, then you don't have any options. But if you're implementing for the first time, or you are renovating some of the things in payroll, then I will always recommend to use that HR forms. Okay, so that I'll be sharing a document with you. But if you want to know the basic thing here, I'll be just explaining here what are the things are there. So you'll be having different windows. Okay, so like allowance window, hours window, there is a rate window, and these are actually the company name, like company name one, period one, ENDA PA, NI, NUM. So all these are technical fields. Okay, so but P51, even a functional consultant also can configure. Okay, so you can directly go into specific window. So at present we don't have any window for this. Okay, otherwise you'll be going to the specific window, and but I will not recommend this one. This is actually very traditional and very classic, so don't use this one generally. So you will be having different for each window, you'll be having different text. Okay, so if you go to specific, as I have clicked this accumulation ID. Okay, so which are the number, which are the waste types, will be those values will be calculated, will be shown there. Okay, so you can see the reunion dues, sports and social club dues, charitable donations, private health contribution, all these values are coming here. So what are the waste types you are capturing in a particular window, that you have to enter it here. Hmm. But the same logic you can give it to an technical consultant or ABAP. Okay, so that same using HR form also you can configure this, and that is more user friendly, and also that is more flexible. Okay, so here you don't have any much option to attach a logo, because some of the companies they give an option, ask for an option to attach a logo to a payslip. They want some footer, header. Those kind of flexibility is very limited here, though it is to some extent it is there, but it is not that much flexible if I compare with your HR form, HR processes and forms. Okay, so that we can use. Okay, so that is in terms of pay slip. Okay, this is an HR form editor using P51. Okay, so I'll be not suggesting this one to you. Even if you want to learn, then it is fine. But that is the future. Mostly people use that one only, HR form, and that will be kind of a PDF format. So whenever you will be seeing this, so you'll be able to take a printout, take a download of that particular. You can send that in an email. Okay, so a lot of optional options, a lot of flexibilities are there if you're using the HR form. So I'll be sending a document. I just noted it down. I'll be sending two document to you. One is your this workbook I'll be sharing with you, which I have designed for your reference, and you'll be maintaining that, and you'll be sending within as soon as you complete everything, all the configuration once you complete. And second one I'll be sending with you today, that is your HR form implementations you for payslip. And if I'm able to find out, and actually long back I prepared a functional specification also. So if you are going, I'll be sending that functional specification after doing some cleansing work there. Okay, some client related information I have to remove, and I have to send that HR form workbook I'll be sending with you. Guide. This is for ABAP interaction you require. Then third one is the FS. FS, so whatever the payroll related. So payslip is one of the most important things because employees work for that, and people direct every month end and month beginning they will be downloading it frequently. Okay, so this is the most important part of a payroll. So how to write a functional specification, I am having a sample, but that is not for UK, but some other country I might be having. Okay, but similarly, same functionality you will be using. How to sample. I'll be sending one sample for that, so that in your implementation or support you'll be using. So these three documents I'll be sharing with you by today or tomorrow. So before that, now I'll be explaining you how to read the log. Okay, so after you run in the payroll, you start expanding your entire stuff here. So if it is running successfully, then you will not be getting any error message and anything. So these are the broad area of payroll. So first we will start with the initialization of the payroll. Then your basic data will be processed. So if you see the basic data, so you can see what are the different right hand side. You can see these are the different stuff like workplace related basic pay. It will start reading the info type 8, pension related info type, text related info type, court order related info type. Okay, so what you can do once you run the simulations, you start again filling those specific info types and you check the changes. Okay, so you can run multiple iterations for the same payroll. Okay, for the same month you can run different put different values in info type 71, info type say 65, info type 70, and you try exploring this how these values are getting. Okay, so if I expand in each of these info types, you can see for each info type processing. Okay, so there are three categories. As I was explaining you in the slide, there is an input, there is an processing, and there is an output. Okay, so if the input in the input, it will trigger to the specific tables. Okay, so you can see for this particular info type 71, I have maintained some 500 GBP to high band is 800 GBP. Okay, so what are the values I have referred maintained in that particular info type, that you can find out in this particular table P0071. Okay, similarly in the output table also you'll be seeing for that particular table, for this what is the specific these things. Okay, so for this schema, which schema is referred and which date to which date actually it is getting there. Okay, so all this stuff you can go and you can analyze it. Okay, so what it does. Okay, so info type 71, what it does in the processing, it clearly explains. It reads the data from info type 71 for British pension calculations. Okay, so if I see, so you can see the one or more pension scheme is apps. Okay, so here if you go to and deep dive for each function. Okay, so you can go and deep dive. So you'll be able to see the same similar structure like input, output, and there is a processing. For each of these you will be able to see those things. Okay, similarly for whenever there is a no such information, there will be, you'll be getting only simply input. Okay, because for employee name is not actually processed. Okay, so basically what are the information you will be getting, that goes to the next table. Okay, so that is the next cluster, it will go and it will be stored there. For that reason you will not be seeing the output in all those cases, but most of the cases you will be seeing input output. Okay, and similarly if you see the specific info types, just to it is a task for both of you. You just go and run, after running the sample payroll, you start reading. Okay, so you try to understand what are the different table, and if you are having any doubts, just ping me and let me know, so that I will be able to, because it's more or less similar. Okay, this is the first step, first building block. Okay, so whenever you are running the payroll, it will process the basic data. Basic, when I say basic data related to payroll, that is your info type 0, 1, info type 8, 71, 65, 70, then info type 14. Okay, so these are the basic data for processing the payroll. Similarly, what it will do, it will go to the next block. If you see, there is a block which is a blank. Okay, so this blank actually this is for initialization of the mid. Uh, if you see GBPSC, so this is a function GBPSC. So why what it is does this is actually applicable if you are using multiple employment. Okay, but we are not using multiple employment scenario. So for that reason, this is skipped. Okay, so it will say no multiple employment situation. So it is actually this step actually not required for us for our payroll scenarios. Okay, so this is reason it is skipped here. So similarly, after maintaining this basic data, you will be seeing the next section, that is a read last payroll results. When I say last payroll results, it is basically your if you're having any retro related information or print the last month there is some area. Okay, and related to that area you have something related to the tax information, some information came. Okay, so those kind of information will be getting processed here. Okay, so here for each of these things you will be seeing pensions related, it is GPEN. Okay, so if you see, it will take you to the specific pension related information. Okay, so those information will be getting here. So you just try to read all this, because now we are able to run the payroll successfully for a custom payroll schema which we have not done any modification. Okay, so it is now best way to read and do the analysis what happens where in for each and every table. You don't have to remember as well. So like do you have to remember all the functions or not? No, it is not required. So if so you can see what are the relevant, you'll be getting this next step also. Okay, so for each function you'll be having this similar structure: input, output, and processing. You just try to read all these things. Okay, so just dig down for each of these things. Hmm. And you try similarly, you'll be having get previous results for period per specific payroll, then any time related things. Okay, so all your absence related information will be processing here. Okay, RAB, what are the different tables related to the your time related. So in the right hand side you'll be able to see all those description. Okay, so your calendar is also processed. Okay, the personal calendar, annual display. Okay, so how these are processed. Okay, so all these things, if you can go and deep dive, you'll be able to see in this specific log. Okay, even if there is no entry in for a specific table, system will try to run, and its system may skip that, but its system in the log you will be able to see all these input, output, all these individual. Suppose you are having any schedule. Okay, the time schedule, as we are talking about individual shift schedule. Okay, you will be able to see the personal shift plan. Okay, for this employee, for Sandeep, so the periodic, that personal shift plan, PWS work schedule has been already in place. That information you will be seeing here. Similarly, if you see the output here in the PSP table, you will be able to see. So this is also one of the important table. It will say your explain your daily work schedule. So when you are free, whenever you are having the number of hours you have worked, so that also you will be able to see. Okay, so if you're having any public holidays, then specific it will be counted as a one. So all this information you will be able to see here. So you just explore all this information, all these tables here. And partial period factor, all this print PA process input table. So it is more or less similar. So all these structure wise, in terms of structure, all these are similar, but you have to just understand what happens in which table. So this is basically a flow. You can draw a, if you want to remember these things, what you can do, you can draw a memory map for you. You can like you can draw a flow chart. Okay, so like prepare a building block. You can prepare a building block like there are some 7 to 8 building blocks. Okay, well, starting with processing of the basic payroll, gross payment, loan accounting, GB factoring means, or factoring part we'll be discussing. I'll be taking one session for you. All kind of factoring would be calculated here. Okay, so all your retro calculation will be happening here. Similarly, all the whatever the things we have done, so it will be actually a loop. Okay, so gross to net calculation, how you if it is a so if else condition also you can see. So it is actually you'll be able to understand if whether it is the original payroll or it is a retro. So it is actually, if you see the description part, not the this PIT, PD, GBPSC, these things, if you only see, you will not be able to understand everything. So always you have to refer the right hand side. So for each block, you go and expand. Okay. So every time you can expand everything, then you will be in the right hand side. You will be able to see those specific description. Then you will be able to understand how it is working. Okay. So this is just a very in depth. So if you go to in each and every step, you will be able to understand the entire stuff. Okay. So similarly, the after towards the end, you will be able to see the end processing. Okay. Like carry forward, if it is happening, if it any teacher's pension, if it is any retro. Okay. All those calculation will happen, and how it will go to the last step. Last step basically it will be exporting. Okay. So how these things happen, so you just go through this all of this log, and it is very long. If you expand it, if you'll be able to see for each node, it is very interesting. So you see and what are the different tables. Okay. So all these things you have to go and visualize everything. Then we'll, in case of any changes, just experiment all those things. Okay. And any error if you're getting, it is always try to do knowingly do some changes and make some mistake, and see the log. Okay. The payroll log will give you the it will be helpful. So then in the message section you'll be getting all those payroll related error all the messages. So in this way you'll be able to learn all these things. So this is regarding how to read a payroll log. Then what I was explaining, payroll log, I've explained this one, explained. Yeah. So now I'll be coming to the absences related configurations. So this is basically your unit 8, and that from that book which I have sent earlier, that is HR 400. So in that book, chapter 8, you have to refer. So before that, let me show you where exactly the configurations are done. So for that, you need to go to the payroll UK. Payroll Great Britain. Then you have to go to the absences. There should be some absences. So if you see, there is a section called absences. So next one is your valuation of the absences. Okay. So what happens in waste type valuations, or sorry, in the absence type valuations, while doing the evaluation. Okay. So we generally describe the valuation rules here. Okay. So we have some existing rules. Okay. So these are the actually, if you see, these are the valuation rules which is already there in the system. I think some of the people also, they have created what types of rules, so what types of valuation rule it will be there. So that also you can configure of your own. Okay. So for country grouping 8 is what is already there. So we are already in the country grouping 8. Okay. For UK payroll, we are having more than 50 entries. Okay. So this absence valuation rule we can use. Okay. So each absence rule will be having its own purpose. Okay. So and those are clearly mentioned in the description section. Okay. So 100% sickness, 50% maternity, 100% maternity. So all this calculation will happen automatically. So what just you have to understand which valuation rule we will be going to use. Those are predefined. And also you can create your own valuation rule if it is required. Okay. So here actually we define the valuation rule. Okay. Whether it is a full, as you have mentioned, whether it is a full day or half day leave, half day, or any pay completely, there is no pay, leave without bonus, leave without pay. Okay. So those kinds of configurations are done here. Okay. So you can also create new entries. Okay. So this is the point where all your absence valuation rules are created. Suppose if you want to know the details, you can directly go to this section, the help section here. So here you will be able to see what are the different types of pay. It is mentioned here. It is a kind of bucket list. Okay, so bucket list of whatever the absences you have created. Okay, so generally absences are created in the time management module. but here we are writing the valuations, how this valuation, those absences will be calculation. The calculation will be happening here. Okay, so in the next step, what you can do, assign absence valuation rules to the absences. Okay, so in these steps we assign those valuation rules. Okay, so if you see here, so whatever the PSG we are using, okay, so for each absence type has been created. These are the absences type which generally we create in the time module. Okay, time management module, we create those absence type. So if I go to the PS grouping, I think we are using which PS grouping? It is 8. Okay. So if I go to PSG grouping 8, so I can see there are multiples, there are so many types of leave type which is applicable for PSG 8, paid holiday, unpaid holiday. So I think Sandeep, which you have created, that I'll be showing you what you have done that. So so UKMA, UKMS. Okay, so these two absences type you have already created. One is paid, one is unpaid, but this valuation rule was not assigned to you. Okay, into this configuration. So for that reason, it was giving an error. Okay, and these valuation rules are predefined. So if you are seeing, say, valuation rule, I have to go to the country grouping 08. So here, whatever the relevant for you, if it is a full day leave, you can use the TIS one, and if it is a half day or 50% sickness, whatever the, so what you can do, you can check with changing this. Okay, so then you see the impact on the payroll. Okay, so how it is going to impact. Suppose if you are, instead of 12, you are using say 17 or 19 or 20. Okay, just see how it is impacting in your payroll. So that you will be able to understand. So this is the how the valuation rules are assigned to the absence. Okay, so absence types are created in the time management module, like as you have created full day, half day. People have already created like 600, 601, 610. There are different types of absence types people have created. Okay, so accordingly, so against that absence type, we're assigning a valuation rule. Okay, because payroll will understand only the absence, your valuation rule. Depending upon the valuation rule, payroll will be calculating those, whether it is a half day or it is a paid or unpaid. It will not understand if you are maintaining only this a particular info type, sorry, the absence type. Okay, it will try to understand the valuation on the basis of pay your absence valuation rule. Only system will be able to understand those calculate those calculations, or it will perform those calculations for the payroll. Okay, similarly, you'll be having different grouping for absence valuation. So here what happens, this will take me to the schema. Okay, so this is basically the X mode, that is your employee grouping, whatever the schemas is there, it will take me to that. So we don't need have to go there. So basically those, what are the schemas? Okay, directly you can go to those, jump into those schemas. Okay, otherwise you can directly go from the specific node also. GT00 means processing of time data for payroll. Okay, so UK payroll specific. So these are the same. This is actually schema for time payroll related, UK payroll related. So if you have some changes, then you have to go to copy that and you have to do the changes. Okay. Similarly, create wage type catalog. Actually, this will be creating. This is for your OS 11. That is your. It will create the wage type. So we know how to create those wage types. So I'm not maintaining it here. So you know already what are the different wage types related to the payroll, sorry, absences, that you can come and create it here directly. Similarly, you will be having, let me go back again. So most important is the second one, assign absence valuation rules to the absences. Okay, so remaining part will be in seeing the next session. So I'll be going into deep dive, like how to create counting classes, what are the different absences using. There is something called as if principle. Okay, so how to use that as if principle, that we'll be seeing here, and will be for each absence valuation grouping, we will be seeing how it is actually calculated inside Okay, inside particular absence valuations. Okay, so where the percentage is maintained, actually you can see you can directly see whether it is 50% or 100%. Okay, that actually it is maintained here. Okay, similarly if you go to the deep dive into the specific node for each of these uh, absence valuation grouping, you can for each, say for our absence grouping, that is I would say 08, we are using 08, right? Absence valuation grouping, let me check. Yeah, so for 08 country grouping, it is interesting. So just to do the all the variations, and you have to see what are the variations that there, how it is affecting your payroll. Okay, so you just manipulate all those things and you can able to understand the variations. So valuations we are using, suppose at 12. If I go to the deep dive into the particular these things, I can go and see that specific what are the configurations are there. So I think it is an incorrect one. Yeah, 50% it is written. So here you can see for classes for unpaid sickness, paid absences. So you can go and see for each absence valuation how it is going to be calculation. All the calculations are written here, and whether it is a paid or unpaid, this is calculated from here. Suppose if you're ticking it, then it will be a paid one. If it is not ticked, then it will be unpaid. Okay, so this is the inside the counting classes for each of this. This is done it here. Okay, so this one we'll be seeing in the next session. So all these related configuration, these are all the related configurations for your absence related stuff. And if you want to still want some enhancement, then you can write the BADI here. You can take help from ABAP, and you can, so related to BADI, there are some complicated rules are there. And if you want to incorporate, then you can always prepare this BADI for this. But most importantly, this assignment of valuations rules. These are the 2 to 3 nodes which are actually critical for any kind of payroll. So this is for today's
Can
session.
you describe the flow? Like if you create an absence,
Hmm.
then you create some sort of counting classes
Hmm.
for absence time management.
Hmm.
So finally you generate some quota and you apply some leave, right? So when you come to the payroll, so you have first the absence, days absence.
Hmm. Hmm.
That absence is linked to the valuation rule.
Hmm.
So what is the valuation rule actually? Is it the calculation, the formula?
Yes, exactly. So whatever the valuation rules we are writing, okay. So basically, the we are communicating is actually it works like a communicating in between your payroll to time management to payroll. Okay. So the valuation we are defining those absences types in the time management module, but we are maintaining those specific related absence valuation group in the payroll module. So how they will communicate? So they will communicate to each other by using this absence valuation rule. Okay, so inside absence valuation, again we maintain these rules. So you can see there are defined different specific rules also. Okay, so for if you want to some refinement, not this one, so evaluate absence using quota deductions. Okay, so here there is no such configuration. Okay, so otherwise you can for each specific valuation group, you can maintain those absence quota type and how it will be calculated. Okay, so all these things we'll be discussing. So this flow I'll be showing you in the next session. Otherwise what you can do for the chapter number 8, if you can refer, there are 3 different exercises. Okay, so there are case studies for that as well. You just go through that particular case study, that is an exercise number 12. Okay, exercise number 12. Another is next one, you can also see the entire case study how it is done. Then we will be discussing that particular case study in the next session. Okay, so entire flow I'll be explaining you, so how this absence calculations, and but the time part I'll not be able to discuss because that is again a set of configuration. You can refer the guide which I have shown you. You have already created for Sweta. I think you have to refer that how to create that. So after doing that, you have to just attach this absence valuation rules absence valuation rules to the absences, whatever the absence we have created. Okay, that we'll be seeing in the next session. And in the meanwhile, I'll be sharing today this 3 document. Just go through that. Then we will be doing all this kind of refinement. So next 8 sessions, so whatever the 8 sessions we'll be having, it is more of a kind of a hands-on. So whatever the hands-on we'll be doing, and parallelly we'll be having a short theory and more focus on the configurations, changes or customizations. Okay, and more major topics we have now is the evaluating absences. Then I'll be having one session for you for related to the factoring. Okay, so that factoring part is also important for you. So that factoring, how it is going to impact your payroll, that we'll be discussing. And another one we'll be having, hello,
The average processing also, right?
sorry,
The average processing.
average processing, that is a short topic. Okay, so that also I'll be discussing. Okay, average processing and factoring, these things will be discussing one by one. So average calculation rules, how it will be calculated during your remuneration processing. Okay, like say up to 2 hours of overtime, 3 hours of overtime, or it is related, how it is related to bonus. Okay, different percentage of calculation of bonus, that we'll be discussing. Most actually those cases, so those are basically little bit of theory, but I have to focus on the case studies. So whatever the case studies we are having, that will be running, and in advance I'll be giving those case studies, and you also I'll be telling you how to solve that. Then we'll be seeing the how it is impacting the payroll.
Okay, Nila, one question to you. In time,
Yeah.
negative time management,
Hmm.
like, do you have a list of topics? Like you create the absence, you
Hmm.
define counting classes, do you, and those sort of stuff, and you generate the quota. So that's done, or you have more things to do in negative time management?
No, time management quota part, that is a one-time creation. So whenever you are creating the quota, those creation of the quota and creation of those absence types, those are purely from time management related stuff. But only thing is we are concerned when it comes to the payroll, how it is going to, suppose there is a leave types, a leave without pay. Okay, how to configure that and how it will be featured in your payroll. That is our concern from a payroll point of view. Okay, so but for the creation of the quota, those are actually purely time management topic. Though that also you'll be getting in that ebook, which I've said small, that ebook. There is a time minute, but that is more focused on the negative time management. Okay, so the basic configurations are already there. You can, I think you have already done some setup for that. That you can go through and you can explore that if you.
So only up to the quota. This is a syllabus, right? And then you generate the quota either via direct method or via time evaluation. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, either you can use time evaluation or there is some RPTQTA, that program. Okay, so that program you can run and you can generate those quota for the specific specific quota type you can run. Generally we create those whatever the leave types, so you can create annually, you can create manual quarterly, depending upon your business scenarios, that you can create those quota. But the quota creation is a part of your time management. Okay, suppose if you are creating any leave and you are encashing, so leave encashment, suppose if you are doing, then again that is a part of your payroll. And for your calculations, all the absence valuations, or the how to, whether it is 50% deduction or 60% deduction, or no pay for for a specific leave type, and those will be part of your payroll, the calculation part.
For example, in this case, I have applied a leave for 4th and 5th April. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have created a quota in 2006. So if you go to 2006, there is a quota that reduced by 2.
Yeah.
Right. So now if you are running payroll,
Mm-hmm.
how the payroll would know that the
Mm-hmm.
payroll has to deduct 2 days money. So that
Hmm.
requires evaluation.
So that is taken care in that, as I was telling, now there is a PAB function. So in that function, it will. So there are each function, whatever the function you are seeing in the payroll log. Okay. So this will read the different info types. Okay. So if you are running that payroll, and you will be able to see it will read your info type 2006. It will read your info type
No, no, actually,
2001.
I think my question is slightly different.
Okay.
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ कि 2 दिन का आपने लीव अप्लाई किया, राइट? यू अप्लाई लीव फॉर 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
सो लीव अप्लाई करना एक चीज है, वो तो लीव
Mm-hmm.
का पॉलिसी हो गया, बट उस लीव में पैसे कटेंगे कि नहीं कटेंगे, राइट? ये
Mm-hmm.
कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कहाँ करोगे?
That is done at your valuation. So whatever absences type you have created, right? So for each absences, so we are defining the valuation rule, right? So in the valuation rule which I have shown you, that is calculated there. So whether that will be 50%, which I was showing you just 2 minutes back. Let me open you 1 second.
So that comes under absence valuation.
That comes under your valuation rule. Yes, absence valuation rule. So if you see, I'll just explain you once again. Let me open the payroll UK, then more absences.
तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट के अंदर सिर्फ इतना ही होता है कि आपने कोटा जनरेट कर दिया, दैट्स इट.
Yes. Time management is very specific, all about your creating those quota and your absence types. Okay, so that work is done there. So here basically, so in the second step, okay, to assign absence valuation rules, that is one step, and another thing is valuation. How this valuation will be happening. So here actually we are creating a series, something called counting classes. How these absences will be counted. Okay, so that you can see it here. Actually I'll be showing you here in the next time in detail. So here whatever the absences you are creating, so we are assigning a counting classes for each absences, unpaid, paid.
काउंटिंग क्लास तो हमने वहाँ पे भी बनाया है, उधर एब्सेंस के अंदर कोटा जनरेट करने के लिए.
Sorry.
काउंटिंग क्लासेस तो हम लोगों ने टाइम मैनेजमेंट के अंदर भी बनाया है, तो वो अलग होता है.
Yeah, that is different. So here, so no, we are talking about the counting classes which you have created in the time. Yeah, same. So whatever the time you have created, the same counting classes will be using. So if you see, for each of this absence valuation group, okay, we have assigned some valuation rules here. Okay, so if you see individual, so I will be saying, say, some leave without bonus. Okay, I'm just picking a random one. So here, if you see, for counting classes, we will be mentioning like which counting classes we have created, that we will be calling here. So in the absences valuation, can you see that? Okay, so whatever it is a paid or unpaid, that is already whatever you have created the counting classes, that will be calling it here. Okay, so after calling it here, whether you are going to paid or unpaid, that will be decided by using this tick box. Okay, so if you're ticking it, it will be paid. So if it is a paid, how much it is paid, whether it is 100% or it is a 50% or 80%, depending upon your scenarios, you have to maintain that number here. So this percentage figure, it will be read by the payroll. You understood? Okay, so this is the here, and there is another concept called day rule. So day rule, actually I'll be explaining whether only which are the day rules, means whether it will consider the working days only or whether it will consider the non-working days only. So there are different kinds of day rules also here. You can mention those day rule, but it is not a compulsory. It's not a mandatory thing. So by default it will calculate your whatever depending upon your period work schedule. So whatever depending upon your work schedule, by default it will read that. And here actually the percentage is actually calculated. Suppose if you want, say, no, I want 40% to be paid. Okay, so then you have to maintain those typical scenarios. Okay, so that specific 40% will be mentioning, and you have to attach to that particular absence type. Okay, so a valuation group, and you will be attaching that. So once you have created this valuation rule and you have maintained everything, okay, so these valuations, it will be captured in the absences types, whatever the absences type you have created. So now you can see here this absence valuation group 03. So similarly, same concept you can utilize here. This is the point where exactly this is the main configuration where your actual calculations has been configured. This is the point. So you just go, because all of these configuration nodes are not important. because most of the things actually it will go to the take you to the schema. And there is something called valuations using quota deduction. So if you want to quota related stuff, you want to see it, you can see it here, but there is no configuration has been done here. Okay, so you can experiment with this also, breakdown of absences after quota deduction, but it is not directly related to the payroll. Okay. So most important part is this assigning absences valuation rule to the absences and valuations this valuation exactly. These are the two, three
What are these
important
things?
notes.
Time waste type valuation on
Sorry.
top. The time waste type valuation, the top, if you go to the third note from the top, payroll give written.
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually different one. So this one we'll be discussing later on. So averaging and all these things that I'll be discussing later on. Okay, so this calculation is different. So there are some calculation related to the, there are different types of bases. So whenever we are talking about the time waste type bases, okay, so this is a altogether different topic that will be discussing the averaging. So whenever we'll be discussing the averaging topic, okay, so how this calculation will be happening, this averaging will be happening. Okay, that will be, you can see a lot of average calculation. So how this adjustment will happen. Okay, so all these things we'll be discussing there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's all for today. Any questions if you have, just let me know. Otherwise I'll be starting on next. Shweta, are you there? Shweta,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you have any questions?
Hello.
Do you have any
No, sir.
questions? Okay.
To
So
that
Shweta,
absence calculation.
sorry.
I have done only till work schedule in time management. Absence
Hmm.
and attendance configuration I have not done. So that I have to do.
Yes,
So
yes.
that only
Shweta, so what
we
you
can.
can do, so it is very not very difficult. So you refer the document which I have sent you. So if you are facing any issue, just ping me. Okay, I'll be helping you. Okay, it is very easy. Just you have to create some absence specific absence types, and after doing that, you have to maintain absence and you have to run the payroll. Okay. So I'll be sharing this document for the three documents I have mentioned, and you just go through those. And in the next session, we'll be seeing into the detail about this absences part. Then we'll be starting with a new topic that is your averaging, or next followed by the factoring. These two, three topics I'll be covering, and parallelly we'll be doing the hands-on. Okay, so you just start doing the changes in your payroll schema. Okay, you add or remove those specific input types related to EQ payroll, and try to experiment all those things and let me know if you are facing any challenges or issues. Okay. Okay, chalo, bye.
ठीक है,
Bye
okay, thank
everyone.
you.
Bye everyone. Yeah, bye.